I got into the spiritual aspect of my life about the same time as Esther and Jerry, which was through the teachings of Seth. And I believe Esther and Jerry are a little older than me, but please don't tell her that. And as a young man, I always, there's got to be something different to my religion and what the government is telling me and everything else. And I got into this whole thing, and the more I got into the teachings, and then I was privy to Abraham and the universe, I said, I've got to thank the universe for making us all crazy. Because if what we were taught and what I was taught from religions and governments and the academics, if that's the norm, then I want to be crazy. And I love the feeling of being outside of the human aspect of myself and perpetuating and emphasizing the beingness, because it seems like human beings are so busy with being human and they're not really paying attention to the beingness, which is our eternal self.
Which is sort of what the rampage that we were on just now was emphasizing. Yeah.
Yes. I followed your teachings through audio. I've been wanting to manifest this for the longest time with the help of my mate who's here. I'm so proud of myself and her for having had the courage to do so, and it's the presence is so delicious. And there was many things that you say are all resonate, but there was one thing that I decided to put into practice, and I would like, if I may, recite this that I do on a daily basis and feel what it is, what it feels like in the present moment, in the presence of universal infinite intelligence. And that is that every morning I do my thing, I go out, I look outside, no matter what the weather is, no matter what the situation weather-wise, I look outside, I take everything in, and I say, there are universal forces that are focused right at me. Source energy, I acknowledge that I am the object of your positive attention. And I'm appreciating your continual gaze on behalf of my well-being. Today, wherever I am, wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing, no matter who I'm doing it with, I will be in conscious awareness that you too are here with me, guiding me, supporting me, uplifting me, inspiring me, loving me, having fun with me, appreciating me, acknowledging me, aligned with me, one with me, empowering me, showing and assisting me. I also acknowledge that I'm a physical extension of your source energy, and that I'm eternally grateful and eternally thankful for the instruments of thoughts and emotions that allow me to be, do, or have whatever I desire from the vortex through the law of attraction. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, source energy. Wow, that feels good.
And in the spirit of understanding the powerful law of attraction and the coming together of things, can you acknowledge the perfection of the words that he spoke just now in relationship to everything that we talked about right before he came on the stage? Every word of what you said in perfect vibrational accuracy to the whole conversation that we were just about. This is what we mean by co-creation at its best. Now, we are approaching it in different ways. You're saying that, and every word of what you said is meaningful to you. You acknowledge the existence of non-physical and non-physical's attention upon you. Oh, yeah. Understanding non-physical's attention upon you is everything. But a conscious decision to integrate with that conscious attention. It's one thing to just be aware that somebody's looking at you. It's another thing to be aware of how they feel when they are looking at you. Whole different conversation, isn't it? That's what you accomplished with all of that. That's really a wonderful thing, yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted to experience that feeling, and it was I was overwhelmed right after I finish saying what I'm saying.
Well, you started out, your first words to us were talking about the resonance. You felt the resonance when you were reading about Seth. Seth and Abraham are chips off the same vibrational block, families of consciousness, of teachers, same thing. Jerry was fascinated by Seth. He began reading it to Esther. Esther was freaked out by it because she thought it was too weird. But as Jerry would read and read and read little pieces of it to her, sort of spoon-fed it to her, she would say, well, that's right. Well, that feels really right. Well, that feels right. Well, that feels right. And what she didn't know was happening is that by that powerful gestalt of non-physical energy that was being purely translated into that material, and then by Jerry's reading it to Esther, she didn't realize that what was happening was that knowing that was deep within her was being activated with every word that he read. It was the beginning of the unfolding of the vibration that allowed Esther to find Abraham. In other words, that was the path of least resistance through which she discovered that. And so there are endless ways. You will never not find your way if you are looking just a little bit. Something more?
Meditation. We all know the importance of meditation. And as of late, I've been using a guided meditation from Deepak Chopra and Solara Anra. They're guided meditations. And I was just a little confused whether, and do propose and guided meditations, is it more effective, out of curiosity, to just quiet your mind yourself, or is guided meditation helpful?
We're going to introduce into this conversation again. We just used the words, but we want to speak them specifically. The words vibrational accuracy. When it's just you and your inner being, the opportunity for vibrational accuracy is really greater unless you feel insecure in your ability to connect. If you feel insecure in your ability to connect, then sometimes listening to someone, in other words, Esther listening to Jerry reading Seth, which was vibrationally accurate material, caused Esther to feel true resonance with her core. But if Jerry had been reading something that did not have vibrational accuracy, Esther would have been better off to find her own thoughts. You see what we're getting at? So much of the world who are still focused upon pushing against or getting rid of unwanted or those different piles that we talked about, what we're getting at is it depends upon where the guidance is coming from and whether the guidance that is coming is vibrationally accurate. And you can tell by the way you feel whether it is or not. And so what we know of you, from what we just heard from you and felt from you, is that you're really keen on what that resonance is. And so if something feels good to you, it is good for you. If it feels good to you, then we would encourage it.
Trust the feeling and follow.
There's no right or wrong. And also, one of the things that we hear from a lot of you is that as you listen to a recording, and then later you listen to it again, and then later you listen to it again, it feels to you that somebody sneaked in the night and put different things on the recording because you keep hearing different things. And it's because there are different things that are active in you at different times because of the way you've been addressing life experience. And so the beauty of meditation, the reason we teach it the way we do, is because if you utilize meditation as a means to allow your vibration to rise, not as a means to create. So if somebody else is guiding the meditation, if they're guiding you to alignment, if they're guiding you to receiving, if they're guiding you to non-thought, if they're guiding you to non-resistance, then your vibration is rising. And as your vibration rises, then you hook up with what your inner being knows. We would define meditation. Let's just put some new words to this. From our perspective, this is the definition of meditation. It is a process or a method by which you can allow yourself to sync with the frequency of your inner being. So in a guided meditation, you might sync with the frequency of the person who is guiding the meditation. But in a not guided meditation, if your intention is to sync your vibration, allow your vibration to rise and therefore sync up with the frequency of your source energy, that is a process of perfection, because nothing serves you more than being in that compassionate place of looking at the world through the eyes of source. That's just the ultimate experience. And so Abraham, I'm mixed up. I came from that. Why did I come if I was that? If I was already only that, that sounds pretty synced up. So it sounds to me like you're saying that I was synced up, and then I came and I got confused by all of the chaos of the contrast around me, and now my job's just to sync up again? It seems like I just could have left some steps out and stayed synced up. And we say, except for the understanding that we are all about becoming, we're all about joyous becoming. And so you were synced up and non-resistant and deliberately focused into some contrast, some choices, contrast varieties, contrast differences, contrast perspectives, contrast basis of new, basis of more, for the thrill of self-discovery, self-discovering more, for the purpose of universal expansion, for the necessary purpose of eternalness. And in that process of expansion, running the risk are not the right words, willingness to expose to contrast, because it was no risk, because you knew that even though you were exposing yourself to contrast for the glorious purpose of expansion, that you had guidance within you that would help you always find your way back to alignment. And so you gave birth to the new desire, your inner being, resistant free, embraced it completely, became the evolved expansion, extension of all of that, and then stands in that vibrational frequency, beaming a signal that you can feel through your solar plexus so that you can find your way back into that joyful expansion. But why? Why? We don't know. We're wanting you all to rest in that question for just a moment, because the answer feels so much better when you've rested in the question for a minute. So why? What's the whole point of that? I was already pure positive energy, and then I came and mixed myself up and became less than pure positive energy. But out of that came a stronger desire to be pure positive energy in an expanded form. I asked for something more than I was, knowing that it would take me a while to catch up with more than I was. Now, why? If I was already happy, why would I want to become more and then move toward that? Why? Because the greatest form of happiness, in fact, the only place that satisfaction is in the moving in the direction of the newly discovered. And so that's what we've been talking about all day here today, isn't it? Is that expansion is inevitable, but conscious expansion is divine. That growth cannot be stopped, but to be consciously in on it is divine. And since you are the creator of your own experience, we cannot express the word deliberate with enough emphasis to describe who you really are. You came into this physical body with such intentionality, and the intentionality was not to fix a broken world because you did not see it as broken. It was not to help people understand who don't understand because you did not see that as your role. You came into this experience because you are a creator, and a creator must create. You came into this experience because you are a lover, and a lover must love. You came into this experience because you are love, wanting to demonstrate the love of that which is you in a more and more meaningful way. You want to taste it with such an ability to taste. It's like there's MSG all over your tongue that has activated it in a way that you are extra aware of what it is that you are about. You are passionate, powerful creators who are in love with life. And life is not stagnant. Life is moving forward. Life is always moving. Life is a state of becoming. We have enjoyed